Are you experiencing hip pain here, here, or here? Today we're going to cover the dangers of stretching this type of hip pain if it's from hip impingement. I'm Sebastian and this is Don. We are the locally world famous chiropractors in Costa Mesa, California.
Locally world famous.
You sound like a dove. All right, we're going to get right into it today. I'm going to take Don through some of the dangers and kind of explain the mechanics of why it might be dangerous to stretch in this fashion. So go ahead and show me the hip flexor stretch that most people do, the kneeling version. There you go, right there, and perfect. Okay, so why don't we play, we'll play a little bit of a game then. We'll act like it hurts you to do this, and in another scenario it makes you feel better. Okay, so Don's showing a version which is probably not going to work for her. We'll call this a hip flexor strain or hip impingement. Where do you feel this problem if this was your hip impingement?
I kind of feel it into the groin here, and honestly a little bit in my back too.
Okay, so she feels some in her back. In this scenario, there's a possibility what she's doing is stretching the femoral nerve. And I'm going to show you that on a different type of test here in a couple minutes. But if that was the case, go ahead, Don, why don't you show me a version that actually works with this stretch for people with hip impingement as well as femoral nerve entrapments. So this generally works better. We'll show the reasons why. Is because her low back is rounded in this position. If you guys aren't convinced, try it this way and then try it the other way. And a lot of times people will feel more stretch on this hip, right? Mm-hmm. I know you have a couple cues you like on this exercise, right, Don?
I got a lot.
You have a lot of them? Okay, I'm going to use one that you like. So you got a paintbrush right here, and the tip is going this way. Can you dab it on my finger? There you go. What kind of paint is that on there?
Paint?
Yeah, what color?
Green.
Neon?
No.
Okay.
Like a forest green.
Okay.
Silly question.
Just want to make sure you know it's vivid. Okay. So if you guys want to know a little bit more information about why an exercise like this might not work, we do have a webinar in the corner as well. Okay, it's very useful. Go ahead and line your back for me. Actually, do you want to explain this part? I'll be the patient and about the femoral nerve and why it might not work.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm going to set up into a femoral nerve test.
Okay.
Does that sound fair?
Yeah.
So what is this test? What
So
does
from femoral nerve is kind of like, it would just be a different form of sciatica, but in the front side of the leg, okay? So nerves in the back kind of accumulate into one nerve that actually wraps around, goes into the groin, the front of the hip, down the leg, and down the front of the shin as well, okay? So to test that, what Sebastian's gonna do, he's gonna hug this bottom leg, he's gonna try to curl towards it, okay? Now we're putting a little stress on the spine here, and I'm gonna grab this top one, which should be problematic one that we're testing, and I'm gonna pull him backwards here, okay? Looks like a hip flexor stretch. And when he says, yep, I feel my discomfort here, we're gonna try to differentiate a couple of different ways. One, I'm gonna see, does moving your head change it at all?
Let's just say yes.
Okay, so it can either make it better or worse by moving the head. There's nothing that's connected to the head and hip besides those nerves and spinal cord connected through it, okay? So if this does change discomfort and pain, then we're looking more at some nerve tissue here, okay? Or we can say straighten up your spine.
Okay. Yeah, that helps a little bit.
Okay, so we can do that there, or we can keep him in the same spot here, and I can move the foot. Okay, so back here, I'm gonna either bring it in toes towards the camera or toes away from the camera. And again, the only thing connected is that nerve. And we differentiate pain in the hip through those different areas.
Yeah, so the thing is that if we're convinced this is hip impingement, the hip impingement, the joint does not go past the knee. Also, we thought this was like a hip flexor, like the short hip flexor, like the psoas or iliacus, that does not go past the knee. Even the rectus femoris muscle, which is part of a helper hip flexor, it does not go past the knee. So why does ankle movement change it? And why does head movement change it? So the danger of doing that stretch exercise is if this is actually not hip impingement and it's a femoral nerve issue, you're going to be stretching a nerve that does not want to be stretched and you're going to increase your problem, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
We have other videos on this similar topic. Go to the search bar at the top and just subscribe to the channel. We have a lot more videos like this about how to do certain stretches and exercises and so on.
Yeah.
We'll see you guys next time.